Welcome on over to Automotive World, everyone. I am your host, Hyundai Mystery. We are back, and it has been a while. I apologize that we have been gone for so long. We just, some things happen, but, had to get everything settled. We're pretty good now. We are finally back, though, and we have missed a lot of news. We're going to start off today with Hyundai sales figures, but I'm probably going to come back and do another video just talking about what I missed, because we were gone for a little bit more than a month. But we are happy to be back, and we're going to start off with coming out from today, December 3rd, and this really, honestly, isn't surprising because every time I do one of these videos, the sales videos, Kia and Hyundai are generally always setting a new record. VW is usually doing pretty okay too on the SUV side. They haven't been doing too bad as of recently. Obviously, there's been some news with them there, but Hyundai and Kia are always killing it. This month is no exception because Hyundai Motors is reporting here in America record-breaking 2024 November sales, and we've got a lot of good records here. We've got best ever total retail November sales, total sales increase up 8%, retail sales climbing 15%. This is last November to this November, so that's a huge jump there. I mean, year over year, retail sales of EVs jump 77%. So in a time where EVs are struggling, when automakers are struggling, when the world is kind of taking a look at this whole transition phase, and especially right now in a changing administration as well, EV sales for Hyundai are jumping 77%. So huge sales. Now, obviously, they may not be selling to the likes of Tesla and things, but huge number, and that's a positive outlook. That's showing that, hey, even though EVs maybe aren't selling as much as as much as an internal combustion engine, there's some interest there. People are at least interested in the brand and they're looking. And hybrid retail sales, this is the big one. Everybody loves hybrid. You get the little electric battery, you get your gas motor, you kind of get the best of both worlds in a way. Hybrid retail sales are up 104%. So to say that's huge it's a bit of an understatement. Up 104%. Hyundai cannot keep hybrids on the lot. And a best ever month for Ioniq 5, so that just kind of reiterates not only the strong sales Hyundai's having with their internal combustion engines, but even with their electrification, whether it is, the hybrid sector or if it's full electrification, Hyundai is seeing growth. And we come down here, record-breaking totals, 76,008 units for the month of November. That's an 8% increase compared to November in 2023. That's huge. In November, they sold 76,000, a little bit more than 76,000 cars in just a month. You guys have seen on this channel from big automakers like Acura and even other well-known established automakers. There's automakers we cover on this channel that don't even sell 76,000 cars in a year. And they're doing that in a month? 1 month. That's genuinely insane. The set total sales records for the Santa Fe. Here we go, the hybrid again. 64% up. Tucson plug-in hybrid up 23%. Tucson HEV. So not the plug-in hybrid, but just the regular hybrid, up 227%. So when we say that Hyundai can't keep these cars on the lot, they literally cannot keep these cars on the lot. Ioniq 5 up 110%. Elantra N, one of my favorites. I think the Elantra N and the Jetta GLI, for what they are priced at, are amazing enthusiast vehicles. In a time when electrification is struggling, and just automakers are struggling, in a time when enthusiast vehicles, people are saying, I don't know if the Elantra N is going to be around, or the Jetta GLI, or the Golf, the Golf GTI, or the Golf R. In a time when things like the GR86 and just affordable enthusiast vehicles are supposed to be dead, The Elantra N is up 140%. 140%. Hybrid vehicle sales total jumped 114%. EV sales growing 70%. Best ever months for Santa Fe, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, Tucson hybrid, and Ioniq 5. This is strong. This doesn't just say that this is strong for each model, but to see that the electric, the Ioniq 5, pure electric, up 70%. To see that things like the Tucson, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, Ioniq 5 up over 110%. Some of them even almost 230%. And then to see an enthusiast level vehicle up 140%. You look at that, you've got your normal internal combustion engines, you've got your sporty, your enthusiast ones, you've got your hybrids, your plug-in hybrids, and your EV, full EV. That is huge because that shows that no matter what sector that they're in, a sector that's supposed to be dying out, that's supposed to be for the enthusiasts, sector that's supposed to be for the EV people who are, that transition is supposed to struggle. That is showing that Hyundai has people interested in the brand everywhere. A lot of car companies we cover on here, they have really strong sales, but it's only from like one or two models. VW has been a little bit of an exception lately, but even then, most of VW's sales, let's be honest, they're from the Tiguan and they're from the Atlas. The Jetta, it sells, but it's not that much. The GLI, it's been selling pretty good, but it's not that much. The GTI, the Golf R, it's been selling, but not that much. A lot of times from major car brands, even like Honda, Honda sells still a lot of Civics and Accords, but we see them going down every month. And what do we see going up? Things like the Passport, things like the Pilot, things like the Ridgeline. There's a lot of car companies that are well established that we see them really only sell, really most of their sales come from one or two models, which is not good because that shows that the portfolio that they have is not interesting and it's not diverse. Not diverse in the sense that people aren't buying it. When you've got people buying the Tucson, you've got them buying the Ioniq 5, you've got them buying the Elantra N, that's showing that the diverse portfolio that Hyundai has, from the enthusiast side, the EV side, the hybrid side, when you see those numbers, that shows that, hey, it's working. I see it all the time when I watch other reviewers, and obviously, the car community is always interesting. People always love to hate on brands, but let me tell you something. With numbers like that, Hyundai is growing in every sector. The enthusiast side, the EV side, the transition side. It's working. What Hyundai is doing is working, and it's showing that people are coming in for more than just one vehicle. Most people, when they go, like I said, you go into a VW showroom, maybe every now and then someone asks for a GTI or a Golf R or a GLI, maybe a regular Jetta, maybe 2 out of every 10 or 12 customers. But I guarantee you, out of those 10 or 12 customers, 8 to 10 of them are coming in saying, hi, I want to buy a Tiguan or an Atlas. Nothing wrong with that. I have a Tiguan. It's a good car. But it shows that the portfolio is struggling. Meanwhile, here at Hyundai, people are coming into the dealership. Hyundai has options, and people want those options. And that's great because at that point, all that means for Hyundai and the dealers is that you've got your consumer hooked. You're making a car that they like. Now as a salesman, you just got to, or the saleswoman, you just got to help them, you just got to find out which one they want. But they're going to be buying with you. So this is, that's why I stress this. This is really, really strong sales for Hyundai. We really haven't seen sales in the automotive industry kind of like that Hyundai and Kia have been putting out for really quite a long time. And it's really interesting to see Hyundai and Kia really just these, you could argue the last decade really just coming up from a brand that kind of was almost a throwaway brand, trash that nobody thought about. And now here they are, not just in America, but even worldwide. Like here they are and they're killing it. So it's really interesting to see the rise that Hyundai and Kia have had. We continue down here, 15% increase November 2024 sales. EV retail sales up 77% year over year. Hybrid retail sales 104% up. We look at the electrified lineup, 92% EVs, hybrids, plug-in hybrids. Hyundai's growing everywhere. Not by a little bit, by a lot. And we can look at the numbers here. I mean, let's look at it here. Last year, November, 2023 November, 70,079 units. This year, 76,008 units. That's up 8%. They were already strong last year. They were already strong, and they got stronger. And even year to date, think about this. The year's not even over yet. Last year, they were at 726,031 units. Three out of 4 quarters away from a million units. Right now, we're at 758,304 units. That's an increase of 4%. Like I said, the year is not even over. Now, am I expecting Hyundai to go over a million units this year? No, probably not. I mean, they would have to find the deficit of about 240 or 2,000 units. But if Hyundai is having strong sales like this, which we have covered on this channel every single time, every single month, it's always up. If Hyundai can do this again, 76,000 to 80,000 units just in the month, I'm going to tell you something. When we do these starting next year, which really isn't that far away, it's already December 3rd today, 2025, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hyundai pass a million units. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see them 1.5 is a little bit generous. I think they could definitely get there, but I wouldn't be surprised with these kind of numbers if they can keep it consistent. I wouldn't be surprised to see at the end of the year, doing this next year, at the end of 2025, if Hyundai's at like 1.2 million units sold. I would not be surprised. And like I said, this just, I don't, obviously we don't want to overestimate this or, overreact or anything about this, but, this is not short term. This isn't just like, this isn't just a fad. We all know who Hyundai and Kia are. They've been around a very long time. And like I said, I remember when Hyundai and Kias were like a trash brand. They were not good cars. Like, they weren't. We knew that Hyundai and Kia at one point were going to go. They've turned it around. They're continuing to make models that people want, relatively at price points people can afford. And we have now seen in this last decade, arguably even two, especially really around 2013 is when Hyundai and Kia really decided to flip the switch. And we're seeing here now that they're not, it didn't just pay off, like, they're killing it. Yeah, and and this is a really interesting time because automakers are struggling. They're struggling with internal combustion engines. They're struggling with the transition. They're struggling with EVs. There's a new administration coming in. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So at a time when we see a lot of automakers struggling, like Chrysler, just so many automakers struggling, it's interesting to see how Hyundai is killing it. And like I said, this just shows a ton of promise because everybody is interested in the Hyundai brand. People want enthusiast vehicles. People say the enthusiast market, like the enthusiast cars, are dead. They're not dead. They're just not. VW sells an okay amount of Jetta GLIs. Hyundai is proving the Elantra N is selling. So, when people say, enthusiast cars are dead, it's just not true. It's just not, people don't buy them as much. Now, and I know sometimes, like, I see the reports with Mazda saying, if people bought it, they would build it. And it's true, but I also know at the same time, low volume sellers, things like that. Obviously the business plays into it. But if you ask Hyundai, every market is alive. The EV market's alive. ICE is alive. The enthusiast market is alive. Hyundai is alive. And one thing we can say with numbers like these, no matter what happens going into next year administration-wise with EV tax credits and changes, things like that, no matter what happens with the transition, whether we slow this EV transition down, whether we speed it up, one thing is going to be for certain. There's going to be very few car companies that are really, everyone's going to feel it, but there's only going to be a few that can really like comfortably withstand it. And I think it's safe to say that Hyundai is going to be one of those ones who are not only going to be comfortably withstanding whatever impending potential doom may be on the corner, they might even thrive in it. They really might. They might even thrive in it. That's going to do it for now, everyone. You're going to see a lot more videos like usual, how we used to. We are back, though. It is good to be back. As always, though, not only thank you for watching, but let me know what you guys and girls think down below on this. Whether you're a Hyundai Kia fan or not, let me know what do you think. Not only about just the numbers, but what do you think is going to happen into next year? And if you are looking to get a new car, are you looking at a Hyundai? Are you going to be one of the numbers next year that are part of the Hyundai brand that is thriving? So let me know what you guys and girls think down below. That's going to do it for now. Like always, thanks for watching, everyone.